Last week for our three critical issues assignment, I talked to a colleague, and I am going to go through each issue one by one. The issue she identified tied more with the probate court versus mental health in general, but I could tie some of those to the field overall. So the first issue she identified was budgetary issues. So essentially for the probate court, what happens is, let's say I see somebody, let's just say Sally, and she is having trouble taking care of herself because of her mental state. Um, Basically, I could essentially file for guardianship for her, and if once she goes through her doctor's evaluations, if they determine, hey, she doesn't have the capacity to make decisions for herself, then I would essentially have control over her and decisions that are made in her life. That's just a basic overview. It can be a little bit more complex than that. So essentially, with the funding, it can be kind of hard for clients that are needing to receive services. So we have clients that have IDDs who may be on the waiting list for programs such as MHMR, and they may be on that waiting list for 10 to 15 years, just depending on when a spot opens up. I think when she was talking about the funding, that's more of what she meant. That, along with the second issue, which is creating standards for all probate courts. So I understand that Tarrant County does a great job as far as ensuring that their wards needs are being met, or the client's needs are being met. However, this is not a universal standard, so that may be something else that we should look into, is creating a standard for all probate courts to follow so that it's uniform and consistent. That was the second issue she stated. And then the third issue was just ensuring that all of our wards or our clients are receiving the best care. There were videos that we saw where the ward was being taken advantage of financially, and they didn't realize it until it was too late. So I think in instances like that where the guardian is essentially just taking finances from them without them knowing, that is what she means by ensuring that they receive the best care, because we want to ensure that that money is being used for them to care for them and make sure that they have the best environment available. So those were those three issues. Regarding this week's assignment, I found the housing first technique the most interesting, primarily because it deals with the homeless population, and I know the homeless population is rising every day. In Texas and in the United States. And I just like how the video tied together perspectives from different people. So the fact that they tied it to the correctional system and how a lot of these individuals enter the correctional system. And I know, like, from research, there is a high rate for them to basically re-enter the system after they've entered the first time. And I know the judge tied the inmates to mental health by saying that 60% of the inmates have a mental health issue. So I thought that was very interesting because I wrote my letter of legislation about that. So I targeted the juvenile system and focusing on creating programs for aftercare for those that have mental issues that have exited the system, to ensure that they're not re-entering later. And then I just wanted to point out that one of the individuals stated that sometimes it can seem more appealing for the homeless population to enter the correctional system whenever they have a bed and three meals versus sleeping outside in the cold. And that's something that is kind of a sad perception, that they would prefer to be in prison versus being able to have a home. And that's why I felt like that was the most intriguing to me. And just because of the fact that it's really hard to even get a job after you've entered the correctional system, because they have questions that ask if you've been convicted of a felony. So that's why I felt like that one was the most interesting to me. Thank you.